Welcome to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. I'm your host, TJ, and with me again, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there is no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Grumpy, how are you, my friend?
Splendid. Yourself?
Oh, man, it seems like in the ever-changing world that is sports, you could never stay exactly on top of everything because things change so quickly.
Rapidly.
That they do, Grumpy. Before we get started today on the podcast, I do want to remind everybody we go live every single Thursday and Sunday. Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is making sure you don't miss out on any of the action. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and like on Facebook. Grump, was there something wrong with your hand?
I was just wondering, you said 8 o'clock on Sunday, and I was just checking the watch to see what time it is. Since we just started, I'm just interested. It looks like 8 and then a 1 and a 5. Is that 8 o'clock?
Yeah, grumpy. It's 8 o'clock. What can I say? I want to talk. We had covered Thursday how all signs are pointing that Cristiano Ronaldo was headed to Manchester City. Hey, they're headed to Man City. We were talking about this move for Man City now elevates that club and organization to being obviously the clear favorites to win the Premier League. And, they were going to be battling and duking it out with the likes of, your powerhouses, your PSGs possibly towards a final. Man, oh man, how things have changed, Grumpy Old Man. How things have changed. Now, all of a sudden, Manchester United, you see Cristiano Ronaldo returning back, becoming a Red Devil once again.
I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer for him to go to Manchester City. Honestly, I thought it was a perfect fit. They didn't want to spend any money for transfer fee to Juventus, so that's why that deal fell dead. Then all of a sudden, people are reaching out to him, ex-teammates, saying, hey, you got to come here. We got to, you need to back at Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, who was invisible during the Euros, he took credit for recruiting him there. To me, Manchester United sucks.
Oh, come on.
I mean, come on. They suck.
I won't say that. I've got more faith in Manchester United than you do, but I did find it funny, right? Tick the clock back just a few hours ago. I mean, you saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer comes out there and he says, when you play for Man United, you don't play for Man City. And for like a little 7-second clip, he was so you could feel the vitriol when he said that. And, he must have obviously thought Ronaldo's going to Man City as well. And just like the drop of a hat comes to Man United.
Yeah, my Man City take lasted about, let's see, about 10 hours. That's about the length that my take lasted. But that doesn't mean it was wrong. Just mean it didn't last.
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you, I know you are not very bullish and you're not big in favor of Man United. I think they've got a lot of moving pieces, which is you're going to be more impressed with Man United than you think. And I've told you this beforehand. I told you this going into the season before they even made a move for Cristiano. I said they've already made big additions of Jordan Sancho. They've made big additions there of Rafael Varane. And now they add Cristiano Ronaldo. You want to talk about a hell of a transfer window for Manchester United.
Okay. I'll say they had a nice transfer window. I won't say that they didn't. Anytime you get Cristiano, that makes it really good. Sancho is not ready. Okay, I watched him today. He's not ready to play. For me, I don't know. I just don't think much of them. I think at the end of the year, everyone can write this down in pen because this take's going to last.
Write it down in pen. Okay.
Pen, not even pencil. No race. They're going to come in 4th in Premier League and then get knocked out in the quarterfinals of Champions League.
I mean, 4th in the Premier League. Get the
Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City are all going to be on top of them. You disagree?
I think the disrespect for showing for Manchester United is crazy. I know, hey, today 1-0. I'm telling you, the speed they have along the wings are going to be fantastic. Fred didn't have a great game today. They did beat Wolverhampton Wanderers 1-0. But what's going to happen is you're going to have Bruno Fernandes playing as a cam, and you're going to have Cristiano up at strike, and you're going to have the wings of Sancho, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, whoever they decide to throw out there, whoever's in form, and your back line of Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Rafael Varane, you've got Wan-Bissaka on the right back, keeper in David De Gea has never been. There's question marks there. Hey, they've got Tom Heaton to back up. Good old ex-Burnley Claret, Tom Heaton, Grumpy.
Okay, who cares? You can only play one goalie, so Tom Heaton he's never going to play, right? You know that he's never going to play. And Fred, yeah, he had a bad game today. You want to know why? Because he sucks as a player. Those are just facts. So
yeah,
I don't understand why you're so bullish on Man United. I just don't see it.
I think here's the reason why. Now, I know you've never been a huge fan of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I know you haven't. I think that he's done a more than adequate job with Man United. I think Cristiano is outstanding. And now you've got pacey wingers on the outside. And I think everybody forgets how important and how pertinent Cristiano Ronaldo is to a team's success. Look at that. Juventus lost today to Empoli. The first time they've done that in 19 years, I think. They're losing to teams that they're losing to clubs and organizations they don't lose to, minus Cristiano Ronaldo. Who's going to score the goals for Juventus? And I think that's going to be something I ought to be monitoring as well. How much of a struggle Juventus is going to have this year with Cristiano Ronaldo removed?
They're going to struggle monumentally. They don't have a midfield, right? That's the whole issue with them. They don't have a midfield. But like I said, I don't even care about Juventus anymore. Why? Because Cristiano's not on that team. So bye-bye, Juve. I wasn't a fan of them before. I was rooting for them when he was there, but now that he's gone, I'm not rooting. Now I have to look at Man United, and I was underwhelmed today. Fred is terrible. He's terrible. I'm sorry.
Okay. I know Fred didn't have a good game. I just want you to halt and to pump the brakes a little bit on it, though. I know Fred had a bad game.
He's not good enough to play on that team. He's not going to start.
You've got McTominay, who can play as a CDM. You're looking for a CDM. I'm not looking for a guy who's going to produce any type of offense. I'm looking for a guy who can help maybe with an outlet pass every once in a while, who's just going to be a break back there. You've got options at CDM. So it's not like it's the end of the world of Fred struggles or anything like that. They've got a lot of depth at Man United. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. You can say whatever you want. I'm just going to tell you that they're going to come in fourth in EPL and knocked out in the quarters in Champions League. That's all. So, if that's what we consider a good thing for them, great. Cristiano will score goals. I'm just saying, and I like their transfer window. The Sancho kid is not ready, not by a long shot. Tom Heaton, who cares? He's a backup.
I know. I'm just messing around. I like Tom Heaton. That's why I'm doing that.
And then you got Ronaldo, and who was the other one that they picked up? I'm sorry.
Rafael Varane. They picked up.
Oh, Varane. Right. Varane will definitely help. But here's the thing. I always feel that Varane is way better when he has a stronger partner. Harry Maguire is not that guy.
Harry Maguire. They're left and right back of Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw, though. They're pristine. Those are top. Those are cream of the crop.
Okay. I think I have a bias against guys named Harry, maybe because it's such an old name, like Harry Kane, Harry Maguire. Is like, come on. You all suck. You're a bunch of old white guys, no speed.
Oh, stop.
I'm just saying, I think it's the name.
Oh, my goodness. Grumpy.
Harry. It just sounds like an old, slow name. I'm sorry.
It sounds like an old, slow name. Good gracious, grumpy old man. But it's crazy how the take changed in the matter of minutes, though.
Yeah, that's true. What's that business that has Harry in the name? What's it called? I don't know. I thought there was a business that had Harry in the name. I wouldn't buy the product just because of the name.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Okay, I don't know either.
Oh man. I want to get to some comments. So Eli saying Yankees lost their streak. But hey, they're going to start a new one. We really have an easy September. Tampa has a bunch of tough teams finally in September. Hopefully we can pick up some ground on them. Talking about the New York Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees are playing extremely well. It's all going to come down to pitching. Can they win division? Yes, they can. But Tampa's proven, right? Tampa has that kind of – they know – I'm not think they're good enough to win a World Series, but they're certainly good enough to win division. It'll be interesting. Call me interested. I'm interested by the whole thing.
And Eli also said, as a Man United fan, I was ecstatic when I woke up and heard the rumors he was coming back. Him going to City would have just been so weird. Also, he says Serie A has to import some of their stars to get their ratings up. Without Ronaldo, there isn't any big name players to make people want to watch them.
I 100% agree with that. They have no star power there. None. Zero, nada, nothing.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And, we're going to see how important Cristiano was to that team and outcome. Now,
and they went from ESPN, Serie A, from ESPN to CBS Plus, Paramount Plus, whatever it is, that streaming service. And if you're looking for, viewers, that's not going to draw any. They do have Champions League, though. But, we'll see. Now,
have you heard what happened with the New York Mets today? With not only today, but it's happened for a little bit. We've seen Francisco Lindor, Javier Baez. They've been a little upset, grumpy old man, that the fans were booing them. Oh, boo hoo hoo. So anytime they get a base hit or they make a play, they do a little thumbs down. And I want to get your take, and we'll play the clip of Javier Baez's post-game interview on this too. Because the Mets, they won today. Holy crap, grumpy old man. They've won 2 games in the last 15 appearances. So they're 2-13 in the last 15 games, the New York Mets.
Okay, so do you want to play the clip first or have me comment first?
I'll pull up the clip, Grumpy, so you can go ahead and react here to it. But I wanted to get your initial take because I wasn't sure if you've heard of this or not. I don't know if this is news to you or not.
No, I've heard of it. And the first thing I'm like, how stupid can you be? So the fans who put the money in your pockets, who spend money on your jerseys and go to the games and buy concessions, you don't like getting booed. So you want to prove to them, well, hey, then we're going to boo you by putting the thumbs down. What is wrong with you? I mean, if this isn't the athletes of the 2020s, I don't know what else is. For me, Javier Baez is a free agent at the end of the year, right? I never consider re-signing him at this point in time. Goodbye. You're gonna crap on our fans. There's no way we're bringing you back.
I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip for you.
Okay.
This is a boo that we get. We're not machines. We're gonna struggle. We're gonna struggle 7 times out of 10, and it just feels bad when I strike out and I get booed. It doesn't really get to me, but I want to let them know that when we success, we're gonna do the same thing to know how to let them know how it feels.
When I strike out and they boo me, it feels bad, and we're gonna let the fans know how it feels to get thumbs down and booed right back. Are you freaking kidding me?
Here's the thing. The fans aren't getting paid. I don't know how. I think he's getting paid $10 million, whatever. They're not getting paid $10, $15, $20 million a year to play a game. Believe me, the fans are not going to understand. The only thing that kept him from getting pelted with tomatoes and other type of fruits was the fact that he brought a kid up there. That's it. That's it.
I'm sorry. When I heard that, and again, I'm a Mets fan. I'll be honest with you. I'm a Mets fan. The collapse we've seen from the New York Mets this year has been hideous, right? Again, I know injuries have taken their toll, but it's been hideous, the collapse by the Mets. And when the fans boo, it's their frustration with everything. It's their frustration with the situation, their frustration with you as an individual. I mean, you saw Francisco Lindor doing the same exact thing. Hey, Francisco, after you signed that huge contract, how have you done, Francisco Lindor? How have you been batting as of late? Have you had a stellar season, Francisco Lindor? How has it been for you?
He wasn't even great last year with Cleveland. And I know he's immensely talented, but and he wasn't good all year this year. It's like, you make a trade like that, you got to re-sign the guy. You can't give up. I know they gave up not super talented guys, but you have to re-sign. You make a trade like that, you got to sign the guy. But Javier Baez, you gave up a box of rocks to get him. And you just can't alienate the fans. I'm sorry. It's just I don't understand the mentality. Honestly, I just don't get it.
Well, here's the other thing for this all as well. Javier Baez, since joining the Mets through the 16 games he's been there, is hitting 207. I'm sorry.
But that's what he's hit. I had him on my fantasy team 2 years ago. I couldn't wait to unload him. And you know how much I put, stock in having those fantasy things. You know that.
Grumpy, I know you absolutely love to talk about your fantasy, but man, oh man, I'll go ahead and get back here to more of the clip. But first initial reaction, man, oh man, come on, buddy, you've got to toughen up. You're getting paid multi-million-dollar contracts to hit the ball. You get traded, hopefully to make a huge push for a team that is at the time period when you required was vying for a playoff spot, right? And you come there and you go ahead and 207. 207. It's not like he's putting up Joey Gallo power numbers. He's had 3 home runs in 16 games, and he's hitting 207. It's not even like he's offsetting it with unbelievable offensive powerhouse. I'll go ahead and I'll resume the clip here, though, Grump.
Okay.
Because if we win together, then we got to lose together, and the fans are really a big part of it. So, in my case, they got to be better. I play for the fans, and I love the fans, but, if they're going to do that, they just putting more pressure on the team, and that's not what we want.
Okay, that right there, when you say you can't have this guy back with the Mets, that right there is exactly what makes me believe that. When he says it puts more pressure on us as the players, and that doesn't help us win. Javier Baez, I know you played in Chicago. I know you played there for the Cubs. You're playing in New York. You're playing for the freaking Mets. The pressure is always going to be there. You see a lot of these, big town players who play for markets that are not as big as New York. When they move to a New York-based team, they just wilt. This is what this may look like.
You cannot alienate your fan base. That's the biggest. You cannot alienate. This reminds me of Bobby Bonilla. That was the first thing I thought about was Bobby Bonilla when he told the reporters, "You can't wipe this smile off my face." Oh my God! You know what? That's what it's the same type thing. Yeah, you're gonna boo us. We're gonna boo you right back. Are you kidding me? What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry, but when I saw that though, I think you're 100% right. New York is not for everybody. In order to be able, if you can play in New York, you can play anywhere. It's not always the same way around when the shoe's on the other foot. You can't be a big star in Kansas City and always translate to New York. Just not how it is. Some people can thrive under the pressure. Some people thrive under the huge criticism that is anything that is a New York sports-based team. Some people don't. And when I see quotes like that, I say, no, thank you, Javier Baez.
Is that a thumbs down to fans then?
Yeah. I mean, to let them know that when we don't get success, we're gonna get booed. So they're gonna get booed when we success.
And
okay, when you hear a little bit of a chuckle here from the reporter, and here's another thing, right? When you're booing your fans, holy crap, that's one really easy way to become hated by the fan base. You better be hitting 330 with 40 homers every single season to offset some comments like these. When you're not having the performance that you're supposed to be having when you come here, and you're giving the fans a thumb down because you've been performing like shit, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to make for an odd time. Javier Baez is not going to have a great time, and any of the other Mets players here who are participating in this thumbs down, oh yikes, they're going to hear it. It's just going to amplify the boos. If I was a fan, I was at the stands, I'd boo him every single time he came up the bat too. These
are New York fans. They're not like the friendly fans around some parts of the country. Of course, other parts of the country, maybe they wouldn't have been booed. But here's the thing: every time he comes up, he's going to hear it.
Boo! Oh, I boo him too. If I said he feel like
he strikes out, think about what happens when he strikes out. You think it's bad now? Just wait. Here's the thing: there's no way he's back with the Mets next year. No freaking way. He's gone. He's gone. Nice knowing you, Javier. Nice seeing you here for 30, 40 games. Bye-bye. What a bad, what? That trade was a bad trade, really bad trade.
Oh man, you're not kidding there. Jesus. When I saw that though, Grumpy, I just thought about how soft some of these players have become these days. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, oh man, he doesn't like getting booed. I've played sports, I've been booed before. It did make me go, oh man, I'm getting booed. When we start scoring touchdowns and the other team, we're going to start giving thumbs down to our team. When we're, our miserable team, let's say we somehow manage to pull off a victory. I'm not going to go ahead and thumbs down everybody in the stands. Jesus Christ, grow up.
Do you think that's because were you booed because of a lack of talent?
I have no idea. A lack of talent result. It was okay with baseball. It's more of an individual. Hey, do I go ahead and make contact with the ball? Do I go ahead and get on base? With football, there's 11 different guys out there on the same team with you. So when the boos, it's easy to just kind of get clumped in with everybody else. But I'll let you listen to this here.
Is that something you came up with? Because I've noticed it's sort of caught on with a lot of players, but you were the first person I noticed doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it was my opinion, and it's just how I feel, Like I say, I love the fans, and I like playing for the fans, but we can't have our fans against us.
Thank you.
I didn't even understand what the last thing he said.
He said we like playing for the fans, but I don't like our fans against us.
Oh, play better. Play better. You know how you can stop fans from booing you? By performing. That's how. Not by telling them you'll give the fans a thumbs down. They win one game, and all of a sudden now they're throwing shade at the fans. Yeah, that's great.
And he said the best quote, "We're not machines. We're going to struggle. It just feels bad when I strike out and I get booed. We're going to do the same thing to let them know how it feels." Oh, man.
Astounding. It's astounding. Astounding.
You're not kidding. It's God almighty. Oh, it can't. Like how we talk about when people are out of touch. This is an exact situation to where Javier Baez is out of touch, and every other Mets player who gives a thumbs down to the fan is out of touch of what the fans really want. Holy crap!
It's typical Mets, though. It's typical Mets. I mean, here's the thing. I like the Yankees. I like the Mets. Gosh, how bad does my hair look today, DJ? I'm just looking at it. It doesn't look so great. Looks AJ Molesko like.
Because you're retired, Grump. Your hair looks like that. What can I say? Now you retired 2 days, and here you are. Your hair looks a mess.
I thought it looked a little bit better early. I don't know what happened. This little part here, this little Dubalachi flip gives me problems. But this is typical Mets, right? They just can't get out of their own way. They keep on shooting themselves in the foot all the time. It's frustrating. If you're a Mets fan, it's frustrating. Really.
Yes, it is. I want to talk about a few. Oh, we got a few more comments here I want to get to. Eli says, as a Yankees fan, I think these Mets players need to grow up, learn to take some criticism, and also they wouldn't be booing you if you won some games.
Yeah, there you go.
And he also says, it doesn't really get to me. Oh, sure, buddy. And he's like, dear Mets fan, keep booing. And does anybody expect them to stop booing after this? I'm going to start watching the Mets game just to hear the fans booing. I'm telling you, hey, it's going to be must-watch TV. Fans want to boo him now more.
That's right. And who doesn't want to watch that now? Who doesn't want to watch this guy get skewered every time he walks up to the plate?
As a Mets fan, we're eliminated. We're not making the postseason. So, hey, what do I have a reason to watch for? To boo Javier Baez, to listen to everybody boo the shit out of him as he strikes out a copious amount of times.
Oh, man, I just don't get it. Here's the thing. I don't think it's Mets players. I think it's athletes in general are just so thin-skinned.
Well, let me ask you this. When they're doing this, what do you think the manager says? As all this is going on, you think he just turns a blind eye to it and says, hey, congratulations, go ahead and boo the fans, go ahead and boo the people who put the money in our pocket, just go ahead and boo them? Or do you think he has a little bit of a say and say, not a great way, all you're going to do is it's like hitting a hornet's nest with a baseball bat?
If I'm them, his thing, I don't think their manager is really great, but maybe he should, I don't know. To me, maybe he should have Baez go up tomorrow and says, I didn't really understand the question. There's a language barrier or something like that. I mean, I don't know what he could possibly do.
A language barrier like
that.
Well,
I know, but he, just plead ignorance. I don't know what he can do. I mean, and as a manager, you got to smack the guy in the back of the head and say, what the hell's wrong with you? What are you doing? I don't understand. It's just so dumb. It's mind-boggling to me. I mean, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's headline news. And I can't wait to watch the next Mets home game. Road games don't matter, but home games.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Hey, you got something. Hey, Mets fans, you have something to look forward to. Also, I want to talk about this. Gardner Minshew. We had talked about the quarterback battle. You know, the Jacksonville Jaguars. How things just when it rains, it pours. Earlier on this week was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 6th-round pick. Wanted to get your take on it, Grumpy.
I was surprised they moved him. He's on a cheap deal. And don't you think that Trevor Lawrence might struggle? And wouldn't you want to bring somebody in who's played in the league a little bit, who's on a cheap contract like that? I don't think Gardner Minshew is the greatest thing ever. Maybe it should tell you more about Philadelphia's quarterback situation than Jacksonville's. But it's like, why are you giving him away? Who's their backup now? I haven't even checked. But it's like, okay, Trevor Lawrence.
It's all on Trevor Lawrence now.
And here's the thing. He looked really good playing against second stringers today against Dallas. I mean, he was really, really good. But gosh, I'd want to have a little bit of veteran presence just for him to bounce some things off of. Maybe they'll pick up some other veteran to talk to him, a Brian Hoyer type or something like that. But I was surprised by that.
Yeah, you talk about Trevor Lawrence again today. It was the first half against the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys defense is already to begin with. And now you add in that, hey, you're playing against second-string guys, 11 for 12, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, good quarterback passer rating. Doesn't mean much. It's preseason.
Yeah. But I mean, he did look good today. He did look good throwing the ball. That's all I'm going to say. Now, here's the thing. If you're a Giants fan, let me just put it to you this way. You use the number 4 pick in the draft, not this past year, but the previous year, on Andrew Thomas. And my God, he makes me wish that Eric Flowers was back.
Flowers.
Yeah. That's how bad that he was.
Oh, God.
That's how bad that he's horrible. Horrible. I watched the first half of the Giants-Patriots game, and he couldn't stop anybody. I mean, listen to Carl Banks, all-time Giant legend linebacker. You know, when they're just so nice, they don't rip the guys. And it's like, okay, his set is a little shallow. He doesn't sink his hips. He doesn't bend his knees. He was terrible. Honestly, I was like, man, this guy is horrible. And then they have Neil Peart on the other side, and he's terrible too. The Giants are going to be bad.
Matt Peart? Or you said it was Neil? I think it was Matt Peart. I know he's a tackle.
I'm sorry, it is Matt Peart. I'm sorry. Here's the thing. He's not good enough for me to remember his full name. Let me just put it to you that way. And worst of all is Danny Dimes. They'll be drafting a quarterback next year. Mark my words.
Danny. We talked about it. This Daniel. I'm telling you. This year for Daniel Jones is unbelievably important. And I'd like to think that maybe they could start putting the pieces together. I'm going to see if I could try to pull something up on Andrew Thomas's film for you. But I do want to shift because we are talking a little bit about football, Grumpy. Deshaun Watson rumored to be on the move, and they say the teams that are most interested in the Dolphins are the front runners, and they've got the Carolina Panthers are the other team that's very heavily in on Deshaun Watson. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what the asking price is, because this is something that I've always been a little cautious on, because this is a guy with Deshaun Watson. Who knows what's going on with that legal issue? Are these allegations true? Is he going to have to miss years, or is he going to be possibly spending some time in the clink? We have no earthly idea what's going to come of that. And here it is, right? Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports says that the rumor is that a team that had recently dropped out of trade discussion with the Texans are seeking 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks in negotiation.
Okay. What do you think you should get for Deshaun Watson? Now, here's the thing. Of course, the cloud is the legal thing, right?
Yes, for certain.
He didn't play all preseason. Didn't play at all. Is he going to play when the season starts? I don't know. But here's the thing. What is he, 26?
He's young, 26, 25 years old. He's young.
Okay. You have to get that type of return for him. You absolutely have to. I mean, and think about it. If the Dolphins are in on it, well, what does it tell you about Tua Tagovailoa, right? He's not the answer. Tell me he doesn't make the Dolphins an instant contender if he's there, as opposed to Tagovailoa. I think he does.
I think he does make them an immediate threat. I do believe that, but I'm sorry. This is unless they have some sort of insurance, because the rumor is that some teams are asking for some sort of insurance on it because, hey, if I'm going to make a trade for an individual who very well might not be actually able to play, they're saying that, hey, there might be some sort of, pick insurance or pick protection if he does have these legal issues do arrive.
Too bad. You roll the dice. So you think I should give you somebody
saying this is by Bleacher Report, saying that teams are seeking pick protection in the event that Watson is prosecuted or suspended in relation to the sexual assault and harassment allegations from multiple women. I'm just saying it's a lot to give up if these allegations are true and he's going to miss a year, maybe 2 years, maybe he'll never play again. We have no earthly idea. Again, I've always said they only care about talent and green. That's the only color the NFL sees. But 3 firsts and 2 seconds for a guy that has a very volatile future that you really don't know what's going to happen?
Well, that team has to take a chance on that. Remember, he's not going anywhere unless Houston says so. I mean, it says, okay, well, if you want that protection, then it's 5 first-round picks. Say it that way. Then it's 5 first-round picks. I know you can't trade more than 3, but I would say 3, and then, maybe we can upgrade seconds to ones if he doesn't get into trouble, so it makes it 5 in the future. I don't know. Or you're going to have – because this is – if you want to trade for insurance, well, then you're going to pay a premium to acquire him now. You're not going to get pick insurance. You're not going to get that. Do your legwork, do your investigation on the guy, and then you make a decision that way.
It's definitely going to be something I'm monitoring and I'm keeping my eyes on because it's – oh, man. You talk about how much he could change the landscape of a team overnight because the guy is ultra talented. There is no doubt about that. And you're asking what type of impact would he make if he joined the Dolphins? I think the Dolphins go from a team that is borderline wild card worthy to a team that's a shoo-in for a playoff position.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. 100%.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Now, do you think there's any chance he goes to Carolina for the Panthers?
I don't understand why Carolina would want to acquire him. They're so far from being a good team right now that, here's the thing. He's going to help just about anybody in the league. Let's be honest. When healthy and, engaged, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. He can do everything.
For certain he is.
So he's going to prove any team. Carolina is so far away from being good. I guess what does it tell you what they think about Sam Darnold, though, right?
They must not think he's that close.
That's what I told you.
I tell you, this is a make or break year for Sam Darnold. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Wanted to ask your opinion on one ruling here. Now, this was given a red card. I just wanted to get your opinion on it, grumpy old man. This was ruled a red card. I'm not sure if you got to watch Chelsea against Liverpool on Saturday morning. This was ruled a red card by Reece James. I want to get your take on this, Grumpy.
I'm watching.
Oh, no. That's just a freeze frame.
Oh, okay. So
he was on the goal line. He was trying to make a goal line clearance. It hits off his arm, and they say that he intentionally had his arm to try to deter the ball to get in there.
You could say that he does that. His arm is away from his body. Like I said, you have to watch it in the course of play. That's all I have to say. You have to see it in the run of play because right there, his arm is away from the body, and the ball hits it.
Oh no, his arm's not out like this. It's just a natural motion. He's not even thinking about it. I think he's trying to hit it with his quad or his side there, or his oblique, and his arm just happens to be there. I think it's kind of harsh. It definitely should have been a penalty here. They scored. Mo Salah scored on the penalty, but a red card. Oh man.
Well.
I don't. The thing is that if you're talking about the big game that was this weekend, Chelsea against Liverpool was it. This is a game at Anfield, and it ended in a 1-1 draw. And Chelsea had Reece James sent off. At the end of the first half, man, oh man, Liverpool's got to be really just disappointed with that result.
And Liverpool was pressing them the whole second half. Chelsea's a good defensive team. They're really good defensively. Liverpool should have won that game. They'll have to consider that a draw with 10 men.
10 men for at least the entire half, the second half. Man,
you have to consider a disappointment if you're a Liverpool fan, or Jurgen Klopp, who I think is a fantastic coach.
Jurgen Klopp's been struggling a little bit this year. Hey, all I'm going to tell you is when they played Burnley, and now again, mind you, this was, I believe, this was actually at Anfield.
What do you mean they're struggling this year? They're at the top of the table, are they not?
I'm just telling you, they're not winning as a convincing. No, they're not at the top of the table. I feel like there's got to be at least one team that's undefeated. But I'm just saying, hey, I've watched many a times where they've absolutely blown Burnley way out of the water, and
Burnley sucks. Burnley is the worst team ever in the history of England. Don't you like Burnley? The Clarets.
I am a fan of the Burnley Clarets. That's right, Grumpy.
They're terrible.
Now I want to show you a little bit about, or actually want to ask you a little bit about Nebraska football. Why the hell would we be talking about Nebraska football? I just always like talking about the fall from grace. It's always, a fast and hard one. Scott Frost left UFC after he was able to build that program back. And man, oh man, has he really struggled at Nebraska. Now, have you paid any attention, Grumpy Old Man? They lost recently to Illinois. Yikes, Illinois as of late. And he is got one of the worst winning percentages in the history of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Grumpy Old Man. I just want to ask you, how hot is his seat? Do you think he might be fired, before the end of the season, or do you think this is a situation where he could be fired mid-season, or before even perhaps?
Okay, first of all, I remember what Nebraska used to be when I was a kid. It was Nebraska and Oklahoma all the time. They were the top two teams in the conference, the Big 12 conference back then, and where there were actually 12 teams. And I mean, they were a juggernaut even into the 90s, and they've just fallen off the cliff. I was watching this game for a while. I'm like, oh, Nebraska was up by like 20 something points. I'm like, I turned it off. I said, this one's over. I could not believe that they wound up losing that game.
Nebraska was down. They came back, I believe.
I think they were okay. Whatever. I turned it off. I thought they were up big. But Scott Frost will be gone. I don't know if he'll do it in season, but he'll be gone at the end of the season because I don't see that team turning around. Just don't see it.
Now, what do you think his marketability is? I mean, I'm sure he'll find another home just because of what he did at UFC. But I mean, is Nebraska just doomed for perpetual below mediocrity? Are they just doomed to be a hideous team for all time to come, Grump?
No, you can turn it around, but you're going to have a dynamic young coach for them to turn it around. That I will say. They're going to have somebody dynamic on that team.
That was what Ross was supposed to be.
Yeah, but he's not. So you got to roll the dice again. You got to go for somebody else.
Oh, man. Since it didn't work out, just re-roll, re-rack, and re-roll.
That's all you can do.
Eli was saying about Deshaun Watson, please go to Carolina. I want to at least have a chance at third place. If they get him, then the Jets are a lock for fourth in the division.
Okay. I don't know.
Because the Patriots, Grumpy Old Man, the Bills, and then Miami.
The Patriots are going to be better than you think.
That's what he said. He said the Jets will be a lock for the fourth. Yeah,
but I don't. I think the Jets are a lock for fourth any way you look at it. I mean, regardless of how good the Wilson kid is during time. I mean, does anyone think the Jets are going to be anywhere but fourth? Really?
Well,
and there's no way they're going to beat out Miami. No way they're going to beat out New England or Buffalo. The Jets are going to be fourth. I mean, I don't think it matters, where Watson goes. Now, if Watson goes to Miami, the Jets never have a shot to beat them in the immediate future because Miami is well coached. Brian Flores is a really good coach. Really good.
Eli validated you there, Grumpy. It was Nebraska was the one who's up, and Illinois made the comeback. So never mind.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought they were up, and I saw them score a touchdown. I'm like, oh, this one's over. And I turned it off. I couldn't believe they lost.
Eli said Miami was the last city you want to go to. Last city you want a guy like Watson to go in. Oh, man. And then Eli said, it's also red for me talking about Chelsea on the back line. It prevents the goal. He's using an illegal part of the body. I have no problem with the call.
Yeah, none at all.
Alexander saying, hey, guys, hope all is well. Hope you're having a blessed day. Thanks there, Alexander, for certain R. And Eli also saying Tottenham is the only undefeated team. West Ham, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Everton all have 7 points, 2 wins and a draw. Man, oh, man.
Just like I said. Thank you.
No, hold on. Tottenham's at the top of the table, not Liverpool.
Yeah, okay, but Liverpool's right up there. That's my point.
And Alexander said, Grumpy, your connection is very hideous. I could barely see you. You're getting very pixelated.
You know what? I've been having internet problems all weekend where things have been kind of in and out. So how about now? Do I look better now?
No. Alexander. Oh, man. Alexander said, I don't want Watson. The problem is there's too much of a legal issue, and I think that that it's a crime and not fair to Tua.
Tua sucks.
I'll let you take that.
Tua's terrible. You don't know what you're really going to find out how bad Tua is on October 10th when they play Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're going to see what a real quarterback looks like. It's going to be TB12, and then you're going to go, man, I'm screaming for the exits for Deshaun Watson. That's all I have to say.
Goodness gracious. Oh, man, oh, man. And I wanted to talk to you. Now, we had talked about Jake and Logan Paul last podcast. I think we had exposed them to you, grumpy old man, because you were not aware who they were. Well, he's got a fight. Jake Paul is fighting Tyron Woodley. Do you remember Tyron Woodley, the old UFC fighter, Grumpy?
No.
Okay.
I've heard of the name, but he's pretty old.
So he is. He's in his mid to upper 30s. I want to show you a few of the clips they had during the sit down between Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. And I just based off of this because the fight's happening tonight, Grumpy, at 8 p.m. So I think it started at 8 p.m. But you know how those type of things are. Says it's going to start at 8 p.m. Fight. You know the actual ticket doesn't actually happen until 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever Eastern Standard Time. I want to get your opinion on who you're pulling for, Grump. I'm going to show you a few clips, and I want your opinion on it, Grumpy. I know you're going to really enjoy it here. So let's go ahead and play the clips.
What you're doing is, what are you wearing? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
like
You got on
washed
5
up.
necklaces. You ain't Nipsey Hussle.
It's like
How many
you're
people in your
washed up.
neighborhood dress like that?
You
How
act
many
like you're
people in
from
your
the
neighborhood
streets.
dress like that?
You act like you're from the streets.
I'm from Ferguson, Missouri, the
Really?
murder capital of the world.
Really?
What are you talking
Tyrone
about?
Woodley, the
Where are you
softest thing
from?
from Missouri.
Where are you from?
Tyrone Woodley, the softest
How many
thing
people in your
from
neighborhood
Missouri.
dress like that?
You're
Tell me.
so tough.
How many people were bust down
Let me ask
Cuban
you a question.
links?
Since you're
Answer
so
my
gangster,
question.
Since you're so
I'm from
gangster,
Ferguson. I answer. How many people in your neighborhood dress like you? How many rap videos have you watched? Exactly.
How many-
Culture. That's what I am. I lived it. And rapping about my lifestyle. You a fucking joke. And you trying to vulture from it.
Since you're
And
so
come Sunday, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna get hit with a whole bunch of culture.
What did your take on that, Grumpy?
Okay, I wanted to hate the Jake Paul kid, but then Woodley had to open his mouth.
No. Hold on. Stop. Oh, okay. Let me play the other clip so you also get the reason why Tyron Woodley is speaking like that to him. I'll let you listen to this. Now, Grumpy, this is Jesus. I'll show you this one. Now, you have no idea what's going to happen in this again because I keep you in the dark on this type of stuff. This is a surprise one I wanted to have on here for you, Grump. But I'll let you listen to this.
a big booty. Like that's part of the reason I wanted to fight him.
Oh,
He's thick. Like he's super thick. I wanted to grip them cheeks low key when I first saw them.
Oh, see?
So
See, you took an airplane.
you want to know what's funny is that this was a face to face, but I asked them if we could do a butt to butt, but they didn't let that happen.
Ask if this could be a butt to butt, grumpy old man.
To me,
I thought you looked cute. You look
Sound-
mad cute right now.
I don't think he knows how to.
On a word?
Go ahead, Grumpy. I'll let you respond.
I don't understand the homosexual references, but to butt, you're cute. I want to hit you from behind. I don't know. I mean, is this what trash talk is nowadays? I don't know.
He's trying to LARP, I guess, or trying to pretend. I don't know if you could see who that is in the background, grumpy old man, but there's Jake Paul in the background of that picture.
Okay.
He's trying to make reference as I'm trying to look at his butt. So you get
Why
it?
is he looking at his butt? I mean, to me, you should be worrying about.
Good.
You should be worried about fighting. I would think. It's like, hey, I remember Tyson saying he wanted to eat, somebody's children. I mean, that's good trash talk. This guy's saying I want to hit you from behind. I don't understand.
He doesn't want to eat children. He wants to eat Tyron Woodley's butt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, like I said, things have changed since, my days. And even the way back, Muhammad Ali talking about Joe Frazier bringing out the gorilla, right? It's going to be a thriller in Manila. Hey, gorilla, it's going to be a thriller. And he punches a thing of gorilla because he called Joe Frazier a gorilla. And, that was funny. This is not funny. It's not entertaining. It's not even good. I'm sorry. They should rehearse their act before they brought it out live. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I don't think it's an act. I don't think Tyron Woodley's acting. I think Jake Paul is obviously trying to go ahead. Now, let me ask you this. Now, if you had to put bets down in Vegas, who you think is winning tonight, Grump? Tyron Woodley or Jake Paul? Who are you putting?
Oh, my God. You know what? I don't know, and I don't even care. I like seeing both get beat up.
One of those Rocky endings where they both go ahead and collide with a big punch to each other's chin and they collapse together and nobody wins, Grump. Is that what you want to see the end result as?
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much.
God almighty, grumpy old man. He's something else. Want to get to a few more comments here. I'm sorry. We already showed that one. Grump, who's your internet provider? And Alexander also saying, bro, Woodley tore him a new asshole. Grumpy.
Yeah, he did. That's what made me kind of root. I went in predisposed to not like the big mouth YouTube influencer, whatever the heck he is.
That's Jake Paul. That's correct.
Yes, I thought I was absolutely going to say, that I don't want him to win. But then this guy starts talking such smack that I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going to root for the other kid, but I don't really care enough to really care. I'd like seeing both get knocked out. But I guess the one guy's older, so I'll root for him. I'll root for the Woodley character.
You root for the old guy because you can go ahead and you can relate with him, right, Grumpy? Because you and your old geriatric age are saying, hey, I can now root for Tyron Woodley. He's the older of the two. He's not that young whippersnapper, that kid.
Yeah, I didn't see a whole bunch of tattoos on the Woodley character where the other guy, I don't know. He's got problems. And like I said, the Mr. T starter set that he's wearing, that's what he should have said because that would have been funny. But maybe people don't even know who Mr. T is anymore. So who was the guy he referenced in when it came to that? I forgot.
What are you talking about, Grump?
He referenced some rapper or something who had all the change. What was his name?
No. He said, "How many rappers do you see? You're not a rapper. You're not this culture." No, Grump. If you
I know that,
Grumpy, you would have got that. But
okay.
Anyway, Alexander said, "Bro, this reminds me of an episode of Monday Night Raw."
Yeah, but not a good one. That's why they have scripted writers because these guys can't ad lib.
Also, apparently, Grump, it's the new trash talking these days. And Tyson said that to Lennox Lewis.
That's right. Yep.
And he said Nipsey Hussle.
See, that's who Nipsey Hussle. Isn't he a rapper?
He's dead. Yeah, he's a rapper. He's dead.
Oh, Nipsey Hussle. I remember Nipsey Russell. He's also dead.
Oh, man, Grumpy. Well, Grump, I want to ask you, what else you have to say about this week in sports? I know we've been usually a little longer as of recent, but I want to get your take. Anything else you want to talk about the end of this week? I mean, it's been another big, crazy week in a week of sports, Grump.
End of the postseason, right? End of preseason for football. And I thought it was interesting how certain teams didn't play any of the regulars this week. And you're going to have, in essence, for most teams, 2 weeks before the season starts. So in other words, you're not going to play any live, you're still going to practice, but you're not going to have any competition for 3 weeks. I thought it was interesting to see how some teams played it that way. A majority, actually. It was just interesting.
Now that you bring that up, I'm glad you had mentioned that, Grump, because there's something else I wanted to show you. The top 10 in the NFL came out as released by, I believe it's the players, again, as voted on by the players. We had talked a little bit about, the this week, what you thought the ratings would be. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you one by one, Grumpy Old Man, the top 10. Now, I'm not sure if you're predisposed or you've seen this list already. They've got number 10 is Josh Allen. Number 9, TJ Watt. Number 8, DeAndre Hopkins. Number 7, Tom Brady. Number 6, Devontae Adams. Number 5, Travis Kelce. Number 4, Derrick Henry. Number 3, Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, Aaron Donald. And number 1, Patrick Mahomes.
Well, there's only one name that really matters, and that was the one at number 7, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. It was nice to see him where he was. And like I said, everybody else is just cannon fodder. I know that T.J. Watt gets a lot more love than I would possibly give him, but it kind of is what it is at this point in time. I just thought it was interesting that you saw Kansas City and Green Bay had two players both in the top 10, Mahomes and Kelsey, and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. I just thought that's kind of interesting. Myself.
Here's the thing. Travis Kelce's not a top 5 player in the league for me. I'm sorry. I watch all those games. He really benefits from having a plethora of speedy wide receivers that other teams have to devote as many men back to play zone coverage. And Travis Kelce's able to run free and wild. I'm telling you, top five, grumpy old man. I'm sorry. I don't have him in the top 5. That's for certain. Again, I think Devontae Adams is a more talented player than Travis Kelce. And, even we're thinking about it, I think TJ Watt a little bit earlier, a little overrated on that portion too. DeAndre Hopkins dropping a little, or he's staying the exact same. DeAndre Hopkins is a guy that's uber talented as well.
Wide receivers, though. Wide receivers are overrated. They're overrated. I mean, to me, quarterback's the most important position. And they're the best players.
Alexander saying, TJ, name 5 tight ends better. No, it's not 5 tight ends better. It's 5 players in the NFL. So he's the top 5. He's the 5th best player in the NFL, as opposed to voted on by the players. Travis Kelce, 5th best player in the NFL.
He's pretty darn good, though. He puts up really big.
I'm not saying he's not good. I think he is extremely good. But I'm just sorry. Okay, here's the thing, right? I've seen him run block. Nothing to write home about. This guy's just a pass-catching tight end that masquerades in that position. He's an oversized, slower wideout who masquerades in the tight end position, right? If I'm thinking about players who I'd put ahead of them, their regarded position, top 5 players in the NFL, if we really go ahead and talk about, Hopkins is a guy I'd have over him. And again, Devontae Adams, I'd rather have over Travis Kelce. It's still probably Tom Brady. I'm not trying to belittle Travis Kelce. He's a top 10 guy, but top 5, sorry, no, not in my opinion.
I just, like I said, for me, I just think wide receivers are overrated. Everything's predicated on the quarterback and the system and every other thing. I know it's a wide receiver league now, but still, you can take wide receivers out of a game. You can take wide receivers. They're not like Randy Moss. He was able to beat double coverage and stacked systems against him. None of these guys can do that. And Travis Kelce, for me, I'm not going to say he's a scheme player, but boy, that scheme they really scheme to get him wide open. And that's all their players. Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, all those guys, they're always wide open. Kansas City and Andy Reid know what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball. I think that kind of benefits them. But here's the thing I found interesting, right? So who is number 1, right? Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
Why is Patrick Mahomes number 1? Tom Brady's better in my opinion. I don't even like Brady that much.
In the big game, I'd rather take Tom Brady over Patrick. There's nobody I'd take over Tom Brady in the big game. Okay. Who'd he beat last year? The incredible Tyler Heineke, who actually played the best out of all the quarterbacks.
Is it Taylor or is it Tyler?
Taylor.
It doesn't matter. Whatever it is. Heineke.
And he had the best out of every single team that the Buccaneers played in the playoff run last year. He had the best game. But he beat Heineke. Then he beats Drew Brees, put him out of the league. Then he goes into Green Bay and beats Aaron Rodgers, league MVP. And then he goes into the Super Bowl and beats the anointed young GOAT, whatever they call him. Yeah, you got a long way to go, brother. And then he beats Patrick Mahomes. And I think Patrick Mahomes is extremely talented, but I'm going to tell you what, in the big games that are tight, he doesn't perform really well. He didn't perform well when they won the Super Bowl against San Francisco. He just did not. Jimmy Garoppolo shit the bed. Good job, Jimmy Garoppolo. And then this year, a little bit of pressure, he just throws the ball up for grabs. I'm sorry. Tom Brady's the best. And to me, did I have a problem with them rating him at 7? Okay. Yes, I did. He should have been way higher on that list. Probably not top 3, I think. Top 3.
Oh, look at that. I know your reaction was very, very docile at first, Grumpy. Almost if you didn't hear, you weren't listening.
But here's the thing. Mahomes, they asked what this meant to him being rated number 1. And he says, well, I want to say, This is important, yes. But number one, like winning the Super Bowl and then winning league MVP and, winning division title, winning Pop Warner. It was like fifth on his list. I mean, I just thought it was interesting that, for a player's thing to be acknowledged by the players, it was like number 5 on his all-time list. And he's a pretty young guy, so it's not like he has a string of accomplishments at this point in time.
Oh, man, oh, man. And then Alexander said Mahomes and Brady 1 and 2. Yeah, Brady should have been higher than 7, but it's whatever. It's whatever. I'll tell you. I always like listening and watching those. TJ Watt, it's funny, right? He was upset he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year last year, right? Upset Aaron Donald won Defensive Player of the Year again last year, right?
And Aaron Donald was rated number 2.
Aaron Donald's outstanding. You're never going to see me ever speak a bad word. Again, I'm an Aaron Donald honk, but you're never going to see me speak a bad word about Aaron Donald.
Yeah, 2's high for a defensive player. I mean, unless
he's been up there. He's been up in the early. He's been up in the 2s. He's been up in the top 5. And last year he was 3. That guy's been top 5 year after year after year.
And he's good. He's really good, really good. But you can take him out of a game. I mean, it's the guys who transcend. Lawrence Taylor. You could never take him out of a game. Never, ever, ever, freaking ever. He always made plays. 2 guys on him, 3 guys on him. He still made plays. You can take Aaron Donald out of a game. And that's part because he's an interior defensive lineman. It's easier to do that. But to me, if you're not a difference maker every single game, it's hard to rank you that high. That's all. And I think he's a great player, but 2 was a little bit high for me. TJ Watt at number 9 was too high for me.
Yeah, I don't disagree with TJ Watt being a little too high. And then Alexander saying Xavier Howard should have been higher.
He was rated pretty high, I thought.
He should have won Defensive Player of the Year is also what he says.
No, we play for Miami. Come on. That was too easy.
Frankie G saying, love your guys' podcast. Appreciate it, Frankie G. And then Eli, is there any team that Grumpy would support if Brady went to that team? Well, hold on. Grumpy last podcast yesterday on the Islanders Never Say Die podcast said that if Tom Brady switched occupations, decided to play hockey, and decided to play for the New York Rangers, he said he'd root for the New York Rangers. So no, I'm gonna go out and venture before Grumpy answers. I'm gonna say no matter where Tom Brady goes, Grumpy old man's gonna follow him.
True. Now that said, I would say that, like with Cristiano Ronaldo going to Man United, his days of winning titles are over. That's over. Never going to win another title.
Stop. I'm telling you, you're going to be eating those freaking words because Ronaldo is going to win and Man United's going to surprise you.
We'll see. We'll see. Man United's not very good. And like if Tom Brady went to
second in the league last year.
Here's the thing. Brady went to Tampa Bay. And before going to Tampa Bay, so automatically I was going to root for Tampa Bay, and I talked myself into thinking they were a good team. And he comes and just turns that team around in 1 year. In 1 year. In a COVID year, no less. With a torn knee. Turns the team around, wins the Super Bowl. Incredible. Now, let's say he leaves there because I think he's going to continue playing past his contract next year. He'll be 45. He said as long as he thinks that he's playing at a championship level or an elite level, he's going to continue playing. For me, I don't want to see him go to Detroit Lions or, the Miami Dolphins, some loser franchise. I don't want to see him going to those loser squads. That's a shot at Alexander, of course. He would never go to Miami. But let's say he goes to Detroit. I would still root for Detroit, but I wouldn't expect him to produce. And I probably wish that he would just retire. I'd rather see all-time greats go out on top if they could. If it's possible. You don't want to see him kicking around. You don't want to see Joe Namath playing for the Rams or Johnny Unitas playing for the Chargers. You don't like to see that. It's just not right. Willie Mays playing for the Mets. I mean, just not good. And that's not a slam against those guys were all older at the tail end of the career. They were brought in, for name value as much as anything else. They were finished, right? And I mean, the Mets got to a World Series with Willie Mays, and it was terrible. Watching him in the World Series. I remember watching the game, losing a ball in the sun and falling down. I mean, Willie Mays was maybe the greatest baseball player ever. I never saw Babe Ruth play. I can't comment on it. Okay, I'll say Babe Ruth, but Willie Mays was tremendous. Could do everything. Hit 660 home runs, playing in the Polo Grounds, which was a really, really, I mean, it's like 450 foot to left center field. And then he played at Candlestick Park with the wind blowing in, and he still hit 660 home runs, and he could do everything. He was a 5-tool athlete, just tremendous. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves, honestly.
Alexander saying, Grump, can you name 5 corners better than Xavier Howard? The thing is, like, when you're talking about that, now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm going to say there's 5 corners better than Xavier Howard, but if I'm going down the list, I mean, Jaire Alexander, I mean, for the Packers, he's a guy up there. Stephon Gilmore, I know last year the performance wasn't there. 2 years ago, he was the best lockdown corner there was in the league. I still am a big fan of Jalen Ramsey, and I'm even thinking about Marlon Humphrey as well. But, I think that Xavier Howard is a guy who's a top 5 corner in the league. Not the defensive player of the year, though. I'm sorry. I still think that if I'm thinking corners, he's a top 5, but best corner in the league, I don't know. It's debatable.
Yeah, and it's a scheme. All right, it's also scheme specific. Now, Alexander, I'm sure if I spent 2 minutes researching this, I could come up with 10 cornerbacks better than Howard. But I mean, I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not defensive player of the year good. He's not Stephon Gilmore, who won defensive player of the year, the previous year. But I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just don't think that he's, I don't think you need to say, I'm not going to throw it at Howard. I just don't think so. He can be beaten, and you're going to find out on October 10th.
Jesus. Oh man. Well, Grump, we're right towards the end of today's podcast. And again, if you made it this far, remember to subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. But Grump, what else do you have to say before we wrap today's podcast up?
I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listened. And no, there actually is something I want to talk about. I retired on.
I mentioned it earlier, and you completely missed the cue.
I'm sorry, on Friday.
You were doing it's like you were doing other things, Grump.
No, it's not true. I went, and it's funny, I haven't golfed in a long time, and I went to a place called Top Golf, right? And, it's like what they have in Japan. They have, stacks of, where you can hit the ball as opposed to everybody on one course. It goes up and you hit to things. And I played 3 guys who never played golf before. And I hadn't played, honestly, in 25 years. And, man, I really sucked bad. And we had 4 people there. And it was terrible. I came in 3rd both times, and it was embarrassing. But then I found out that 2 of the guys had been there practicing or had been to this Top Golf place previously, so they had a little bit of edge on me. But let me tell you something. For a guy who's going to be, my age, I had a couple of guys who were 30, 31, another guy who was 36. I kind of held my own, but I'm ready to get better for next time we go out there.
So you're gonna be practicing some golf. Is that what you're telling me, Grump?
Well, Top Golf. I can't. I'm not gonna. It's too hot for me to go out there swing those clubs all day. And who am I gonna play with? Myself? Come on.
And he also, Alexander, saying congratulations, Grumpy.
Thank you, Alexander.
I think there's a clip that Alexander wants to show me. It's of Leo Komarov, our favorite friend.
Ugh.
Leo Lollipop Komarov, grumpy old man. Jesus.
Only in Russia. Only in Russia.
Estonia, wherever the hell he is. Oh my God.
Oh my geez. I mean, could you let me ask a question.
If I saw a guy riding down like that, I would not think, oh, this is a first line left winger, a professional hockey player. That's not the first thing I'd think when I'd see him. I'd be like, who the hell is this crazy kook wearing a hockey helmet on a motorcycle?
Let me ask you, if you saw 2 guys like that riding down your street, what would you think?
Just be like, what the? I literally would just look and be like, what the hell's going on here? I'm honestly not sure I'd have much of a thought. I'd just be like, what the hell is this?
I'd say, who are those guys? What are they doing? I mean, is this where I just look at him? I don't know. Is he too cheap to buy a regular helmet? I mean, I don't know how much that's going to help him if they get into an accident. Not if you get into a motorcycle accident, it's probably going to do you in anyway. But I mean, wearing his hockey helmet, I mean, I don't think that's going to offer much protection.
Oh man, but that is typical. If I'm expecting what Leo Komarov would do, what he would look like, what he would interact with, outside of the rink, this is exactly what I would expect. Oh man, Grumpy. And then Alexander was saying congratulations on retirement, Grump. But Grumpy, we're here at the tail end of today's podcast. Is there anything else you'd like to say? I know you're about to say love and laughter, but I'll let you go ahead and get to it.
That's what I was going to say. Love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ and the grumpy old man.
Well, thank you, Grumpy. We'll again be going live on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking everything sports related. What's going on in the sports world? Again, make sure you don't miss out. Subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. Thank you again, Grumpy Old Man, and thank you everybody who tuned in and listened to today's podcast and live stream. We'll be again back this next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard